Hello everyone! Today our channel wants to share with you the big comeback of actor Matthew Atkinson, who has returned to the studio. We are about to see Thomas in the Bold and the Beautiful. Let's find out how his comeback story will unfold. The air in Los Angeles is thick with anticipation, the scent of high-stakes couture mingling with the unmistakable aroma of impending romantic catastrophe. After what has felt like an eternity of absence, Matthew Atkinson is striding back onto the sound stages of the Bold and the Beautiful, his presence as commanding as the tailored suits that define Thomas Forrester. The prodigal designer has returned not merely to sketch gowns or mend family rifts, but to reclaim a heart that has danced perilously close to the flames of indecision. Yes, Thomas is back, and the ripple effects are already threatening to drown Hope Logan Spencer in a tidal wave of unresolved passion, betrayal, and the kind of love that refuses to stay buried. Picture the scene. The gleaming glass doors of Forrester Creations swing open under the relentless California sun. Matthew Atkinson, taller and more brooding than memory allows, steps across the threshold. His eyes toes-piercing, storm-cloud gray eyes scan the familiar atrium where mannequins draped in silk and secrets stand sentinel. The crew whispers. The cameras roll. And somewhere in the labyrinthine offices above, Hope Logan freezes mid-sentence, a swatch of crimson fabric slipping from her fingers like blood from a fresh wound. Thomas Forrester is home, and nothing will ever be the same. The tangled history, a love forged in fire tempered by betrayal. To understand the seismic implications of this return, we must plunge headlong into the molten core of Thomas and Hope's Historia saga that has scorched the screen for years. Their connection did not begin with gentle flirtations over coffee at El Giardino. It erupted like a volcano, spewing obsession, creativity, and heartbreak in equal measure. Thomas, the dark prince of the Forrester dynasty, first locked eyes with Hope amid the glittering chaos of Forrester Creations' design room. She was light where he was shadow, innocence where he was intensity. Yet beneath his obsessive sketches and late-night confessions lay a vulnerability that Hope alone seemed to unearth. Their romance ignited during one of the Bold and the Beautiful's most turbulent periods. Hope, reeling from Liam Spencer's perpetual waffling between her and Steffi Forrester, sought solace in Thomas's unwavering devotion. He didn't just love her, he worshipped her. Every gown he designed bore her silhouette. Every late-night conversation in the design studio pulsed with the electricity of forbidden desire. When Hope finally left Liam shattered by his inability to choose, her unequivocal fell into Thomas's arms like a moth to a flame. For a fleeting moment, it seemed they might burn brightly together forever. But daytime drama thrives on combustion, not stability. Thomas's darkness's past manipulations, his unhealthy fixation on Hope's child Douglas cast long shadows. Hope, ever the beacon of morality, recoiled. She fled back to the familiar, if fractured, arms of Liam. Thomas, devastated, vanished from Los Angeles, taking his broken heart and his couture dreams to Paris, where the city of light offered little illumination for a soul steeped in regret. Matthew Atkinson's departure from the canvas left a void that no substitute storyline could fill. Fans clamored. Message boards erupted. And now the prodigal son returns, his absence having only sharpened the blade of his longing. Hope's whirlwind heart, from Carter's arms to Liam's ring again. While Thomas licked his wounds across the Atlantic, Hope Logan did not languish in celibate sorrow. No, our heroine charged forward with the reckless velocity of a Forrester runway show. Enter Carter Waltontle, principled and devastatingly handsome in a three-piece suit. Their romance was a whirlwind of boardroom tension and stolen kisses in the Forrester legal archives. Carter offered Hope something Liam never could: certainty. No ex-wives lurking in the shadows. No midnight dash to Steffi's bedside. Just two adults navigating desire with the maturity of a well-crafted prenup. Yet even as Hope surrendered to Carter's steady embrace, cracks appeared. Their passion, though electric, lacked the volatile creativity that defined her bond with Thomas. Carter was safe. Thomas was danger. And Hope, for all her proclamations of growth, has always been drawn to the precipice. The affair with Carter fizzled as quickly as it flared, ended not with a bang, but with a polite handshake and a mutual acknowledgement that their hearts beat to different rhythms. Hope, ever the optimist, dusted off her white dress and turned her gaze back to Liam Spencer. Yes, that Liam. The man who has proposed to her more times than Forrester Creations has launched a couture line. Liam, freshly untangled from his latest Steffi entanglement, dropped to one knee with the earnestness of a golden retriever presenting a retrieved slipper. Hope, tears glistening like diamonds on her lash, said yes. The wedding plans commenced with the frenzy of a Black Friday sale at Fenmore's. Venue bookings, dress fittings, a cake tasting that nearly derailed when Brooke Logan insisted on a lemon filling for zest. On paper, Hope and Liam 2.0, or is it 47.0, seemed destined for domestic bliss. Hope would finally have the stable family she craved for Beth and Douglas. Liam would finalios her without reservation. But paper is flammable, and the bold and the beautiful delights in arson. The Achilles heel, Liam's eternal Steffi magnetism. Herein lies the festering wound that Thomas's return will rip open with surgical precision. Liam Spencer has never not unsettlingly chosen Hope over Steffi Forrester. Their love triangle is not a triangle. It is a Mobius strip of emotional torment, twisting endlessly with no beginning or end. Every time Liam swears his undying devotion to Hope, Steffi stumbles into peril, and Liam follows like a moth to a porch light. A car accident, a kidnapping, a mysterious illness that only Liam's presence can cure. The excuses vary, but the pattern is ironclad. Hope knows this. She has lived it. The night she left Liam for Thomas, she stood in the Forrester mansion's grand foyer, tears carving rivers through her meticulously applied makeup, and declared, "I will not share you, Liam." Not with Steffi. Not with anyone, yet here she is, ring on her finger, wedding invitations engraved, pretending history is a draft that can be revised. The audience sees the storm clouds gathering. We feel the atmospheric pressure drop. And then, like a thunderclap over the Pacific, Thomas Forrester returns. The Luna factor, a new threat to Steffi's sanity. Complicating this already combustible cocktail is the wildcard known as Luna Nozawa. For those who have been living under a rock, or perhaps binge-watching The Young and the Restless by mistake, Luna is the enigmatic intern whose arrival at Forrester Creations has set tongues wagging and security cameras rolling. Her motives remain shrouded in mystery, but her impact is undeniable. Luna has inserted herself into the Forrester orbit with the subtlety of a stiletto through silk. She flirts with danger the way Thomas flirts with obsession, on calculated step at a time. Steffi, already frayed from her latest round of Liam-induced whiplash, views Luna as a threat on par with a hostile takeover bid. Whispers in the design room suggest Luna has been tampering with prototypes. Others claim she's been seen looking outside the Forrester mansion at odd hours, her silhouette framed against the moonlight like a villain in a noir film. Steffi's paranoia, once reserved for Hope's influence over Liam, now has a new target. And where Steffi goes, Liam follows, just knight in shining armor complex activated like a Pavlovian response to her distress. Imagine the scene. Steffi, clad in a power suit sharp enough to draw blood, confronts Luna in the Forrester boardroom. Accusations fly like shattered crystal. Security is called. And there, in the midst of the chaos, stands Liam, his hand on Steffi's shoulder, his eyes locked on hers with the intensity of a man who has never learned the meaning of boundaries. Hope, watching from the glass-walled hallway, feels her stomach plummet. The wedding dress hanging in her closet might as well be a shroud. Thomas's grand entrance, a storm in human form. Now enter Thomas Forrester Matthew Atkinson in all his brooding, Byronic glory. His return is not announced with a press release or a tepid family dinner. No, Thomas makes an entrance worthy of a Shakespearean tragedy. The Forrester Creations elevator dings. The doors slide open, and there he stands, framed in golden light, a leather duffel bag flung over one shoulder, his jaw set with the determination of a man who has crossed oceans for love. The office falls silent. Even the sewing machines seem to pause mid-stitch. Hope, reviewing fabric swatches with Eric Forrester, looks up and the world tilts on its axis. Thomas's eyes find hers across the expanse of the design room, and in that moment, every stolen kiss, every heated argument, every promise whispered in the dark comes rushing back like a tidal wave. Eric, ever the patriarch, clears his throat and welcomes his grandson home. But the words are lost on Hope. She is drowning in the past, and Thomas is the undertow. The confrontation, sparks, secrets, and unfinished business. What follows is a masterclass in dramatic tension. Thomas does not waste time on pleasantries. He corners Hope in the design studio after hours, the room bathed in the amber glow of a single desk lamp. Bolts of fabric become a kaleidoscope of their shared history for the wedding dress she designed with him, crimson for the passion they ignited, black for the secrets that tore them apart. "You're marrying him again," Thomas says, his voice low and dangerous, like thunder rolling in from the Pacific. "After everything. After you promised me you were done being his consolation prize." Hope's breath catches. She wants to deny it, to claim growth and closure, but the words stick in her throat. Because Thomas is right. And worse is here. Flesh and blood and heartbreak, standing close enough for her to smell the faint cedar of his cologne, the same scent that once clung to her sheets after nights of reckless abandon. "I had to move on," she whispers, but her voice trembles. "You left, Thomas. You left." "I left because you chose safety over us," he counters, stepping closer. The air, Hope and Thomas scenes have always crackled with this intensified push and pull of two souls who fit together like puzzle pieces forged in fire. "But I'm back now, and I see the way you look at me. You're not done with us any more than I am." The wedding on the brink, a house of cards in a hurricane. As wedding preparations accelerate Brooke micromanaging centerpieces, Rich agonizing over his Taxidothemus's presence becomes a wrecking ball. He integrates himself seamlessly into Forrester's CRE lace, his designs bolder and more provocative than ever. Each gown seems to whisper Hope's name. Each sketch bears the curve of her hip, the slope of her shoulder. The staff notices. The family notices. And Liampur, oblivious Liam, notices only when Steffi's latest crisis pulls him away from cake tastings and into her orbit. The breaking point comes during a fitting for Hope's wedding gown. She stands on the pedestal, enveloped in layers of tulle and regret, while Thomas adjusts the train with the reverence of a priest handling sacramental cloth. Their fingers brush. Electricity arcs. Hope's eyes meet his in the mirror. And for a moment, the world narrows to just the two of femme designer and muse, sinner and saint. "You still love me," Thomas murmurs, so softly only she can hear. Hope's denial dies on her lips, because the truth is a living thing clawing its way out of her chest. She does love him. She never stopped. But love, in the world of the bold and the beautiful, is never enough. There is Douglas to consider. There is Liam's ring. There is the fragile piece of the Forrester-Logan truce. And yet, as Thomas's hand lingers on her waist, Hope feels the foundations of her carefully constructed future crumble like sandcastles before the tide. The Luna conspiracy, a catalyst for chaos. Meanwhile, Luna's machinations escalate. Security footage reveals her slipping into Thomas's office after hours. What is she after? His designs, his secrets, or something more sinister? Steffi, convinced Luna is a plant from a rival fashion house, rallies the family. Liam, naturally, appoints himself Steffi's protector, spending late nights poring over evidence while Hope sits alone in their shared home, staring at a cold dinner and a future that feels increasingly like a cage. Thomas, ever perceptive, notices Hope's distress. He finds her on the Forrester rooftop, the city sprawling beneath them like a glittering promise of escape. The wind whips her hair across her face, and Thomas brushes it away with a tenderness that belies his intensity. They talk not as exes, but as to people who have weathered storms and emerged scarred but alive. Hope confesses her fears about Liam and Steffi. Thomas listens, his silence more eloquent than any speech. And when she cries, he holds her not as a lover, but as the only person who has ever truly seen her. The inevitable explosion, a wedding interrupted, a love rekindled. The wedding day dawns with ominous beauty. The Forrester mansion is transformed into a floral wonderland, white roses cascading like waterfalls. Hope, in her gown, is a vision of ethereal grace. Liam, in his tuxedo, looks every inch the groom. But as the string quartet strikes up Pachelbel's canon, the doors burst open. Thomas stands there, rain-soaked and resolute, a man who has crossed oceans and burned bridges to claim what is his. "I object," he declares, his voice cutting through the murmurs like a blade. Gasps ripple through the congregation. Brooke faints into Ridge's arms. Steffi's eyes narrow with suspicion. Liam's face crumples like wet paper. And Hope stands frozen, torn between the safety of the altar and the wildfire of the man who has never stopped fighting for her. What happens next is anyone's guess. Will Hope choose the predictable devastation of Liam's divided heart, or will she leap into the unknown with Thomas, consequences be damned? Will Luna's schemes unravel the Forrester empire, or will they merely serve as the catalyst for true love's resurrection? One thing is certain. Matthew Atkinson's return is not a homecoming. It is a declaration of wearing complacency, on indecision, on every force that dares to keep Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan apart. Epilogue, a love that refuses to die. As the credits roll on this latest chapter of The Bold and the Beautiful, one truth resonates above the chaos. Thomas and Hope are endgame. Not because fate decrees it, but because their love is a force of nature destructive, transformative, and utterly unstoppable. Matthew Atkinson's return is more than a plot twist. It is a reckoning. For Hope, for Liam, for the entire Forrester Logan Spencer nexus. So buckle up, darling viewers. The runway is slick with tears. The designs are drenched in drama, and Thomas Forrester is back to claim his muse. Whether Hope follows him into the inferno or clings to the ashes of her almost marriage remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. In the world of daytime television, love is never tidy. It is a battlefield. And Thomas has just fired the first shot. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe my channel for more updates on the bold and the beautiful.